So how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you? Happy
Good.
Friday.
Yes, happy Friday. Woohoo. Finally made it through the week. So I'm in West Palm, well, just outside of West Palm Beach. Um,
Oh, nice.
and we are getting a tropical depression slash storm. So we are
Has it started?
yeah, it's just raining right now, but it's a non-stop rain. It
We
won't
have
stop.
we actually had a house for a few years on the west coast of Florida, and our friends down there, they're going to get 20 inches tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah. Not great.
How do you
Not
like living
great.
in West Palm?
What's that?
How do you like living in West Palm?
I like it. We're actually in a village called Wellington. It's called the Village of Wellington. It's a Western community.
I'm about to say, isn't that where all the equestrian folks are?
Yeah. So big polo area. Lot of
Sounds fancy. Pinky's out.
well, I guess I honestly have never been to a polo match. And I've been here for quite a while. But yeah, it seems cool. I mean, I've been to some of the horse jumping things and whatnot, but it's a lot of, yeah, like Bill Gates lives here, and Bruce Springsteen, all their kids are equestrian people.
Yeah,
So
Mocky Mock's there a
yeah,
lot.
yeah, exactly. Also it's
My daughter's into equestrian. That's the only reason I know that.
yeah, okay. It's very cool. I'm not very good at riding horse. So
Yeah.
I've tried it once and it's just not for me. So
All right, there you go.
there you go.
Well, I'll be visiting for the first time in a few weeks.
Yes, for RomaDrama.
Yeah, I've never
Yes.
been. I mean, I've been to Florida a billion times, but never to West Palm.
Yeah, you'll love it. It's really probably the perfect venue for an event like this.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously if we don't get a tropical storm, which you never know. I mean, hurricane season only started June 1st. So of course we get a storm like the next day, right into it.
Right on the money there.
Yeah. So yeah, but it's a really nice, the convention center is nice. I've been there a billion times, and the Hilton is gorgeous. I've also go there just to use their pool sometimes because it's so pretty. And right across the street is Rosemary Square, which is a really, really great, like indoor, outdoor shopping, restaurants, bars, entertainment, live entertainment outside. It's pretty great. So it'll be good.
Amazing.
So crossing fingers that the weather is nice and it's not too hot, but I think it's going to be really hot and humid. So
I will not hold my breath on that one.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it'll definitely be warm. So
yeah.
Well, thanks for sitting down with me. So we'll go ahead and get right into it. If that's okay. Yeah. So what I like to do is always start where we're speaking of Instagram, what people put in their bio for their profile, right? So you have obviously actor, musician, then you have head chef plus mixologist at home.
Yeah.
So tell me, I'm really interested in the mixologist part. So what's that?
You know what? It's funny because it got a little more serious the last few weeks. I'll explain. My wife is really good friends with actually, I'm segueing here, but I'll make sense of it. With Lance Bass and his assistant, because that's what she used to do. She used to work for Lance, and she does all of his social media content. And she was like, whatever you put in that little tagline has to mean something. Well, I did mine as just a joke because I will say true. Like if I didn't do what I do for a living, like I would like to be probably like a chef or restaurant owner, something like that. Because that's my jam. I'm from the South Louisiana, Baton Rouge, and New Orleans area. So love to cook, love to host, love to entertain. So I put that in my, what is it called again?
Your bio, I guess.
Yeah, bio, tag, headline, whatever it is. But the reason, and she's like, whatever you put there, that needs to be your content as well. And I said, oh, well, I'm not doing that. So you asked about it. What I'd like to start doing is probably start small, but I want to start doing stuff like, I know the world doesn't need me as a cooking instructor, but I would like to go and say, you know what? You've made this dish 1,000 times. Let me just show you my way. or my recipe, or maybe I might, like, for instance, again, it's, I guess, something you don't think of, but it's like my wife, she put in her story that she was having coffee with oat milk that I make. And I got a ton of people being like, you make oat milk? I'm like, it's 3 ingredients and it takes 20 seconds. But I was like, it's stuff like that. And I was like, maybe I'll start doing small, make oat milk, make almond milk, and then kind of gradually go up. And then the mixologist part is like, I have some friends that just, we like to make extremely over the top complicated cocktails. Nice. It's like you go to like Food Network or something like that. It's like all these recipes that are like super simple. Mine are the exact opposite. Take hours to make, over the top complicated, way too fancy, how to plate everything. I was like, but I like that. You know, it's fun to be bougie every now and then, you know?
Yeah, right. So it's like a piece of art. I'm wagering to bet that your cocktails are like.
And that's where, and that, you know, us being like actor, musician, chef, it's like they're all artists in their own right. You know, there's places that I mean, who doesn't like to go to a restaurant and you see a plate of food put down and it looks beautiful first? Yeah. It sounds cheesy, but yes, you do eat with your eyes first. Like I remember when I went to my buddy's house, who lives on the west coast of Florida, we walked in his house and he had one of those glass, there's a name for it, I forget what it is, but it was full of smoke. And I was like, what are you doing? And like, we just walked in and he took it off and there's a smoky cocktail for everyone walking the door. I was like, man, who doesn't want to be greeted like that? And then the funny thing is it's all, I call it complicated, but it's really not. So like, someone's like, oh my God, you make oat milk? I'm like, it's 3 ingredients in a blender. Yeah. It's not hard, but it's nice. And when you save yourself, what, $4 at a store?
That's true. Yeah, for sure. For sure.
And you know what? Going out to eat is just insanely expensive nowadays. So it's like, you know, a steak at a restaurant costs you $75 plus wine plus tip. I'm like, let's make it at home, and I'll show you how to make it fancy at home. So that's a very long-winded way to answer your question. That's what that tagline means, and we're going to start doing that eventually. We're just going to figure it out first.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I love that. That's something to look forward to. Very cool. Very cool. I think you need to add girl dad to your bio.
You're right, because that's what a lot of my posts are about. I'm too not great at posting on Instagram, but I'm trying to get better. But yes, that is a lot of my posts. So yeah, you're right. I should put that.
Yeah, you use the hashtag very well in your post about your daughter. We'll talk about her in just a second, because we're definitely going to talk about family and whatnot. But I kind of want to start a little bit from the beginning. I know you're from Louisiana. You had a scholarship to LSU, is that right?
Did.
Nice. For academics?
Believe it or not.
Okay, great.
My friends are more, it's more not, but yeah, I did.
And your degree is in?
I have a degree. What is it in? I think it was in just general studies, but I had multiple minors in business, economics, and then theater was a part of my major as well.
Okay. So is the theater part of it how you kind of got into acting and wanting to be an actor?
Believe it or not, not really. I mean, when you're taking general education classes, you have to take a broad range of everything. I wasn't super interested in theater and acting. I mean, I wasn't not, but that wasn't my main focus. I actually played in I call it an accidentally semi-successful rock band in college. And me and a friend of mine just started playing, just he and I started playing these like local coffee shops and stuff on Fridays after football games and stuff. And then we got another guy joined us, and all of a sudden we just had like kind of accidentally started a band, and with no real intention in mind. And just the show started getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and we started traveling, and all of a sudden we were making a little bit of money. And I was like, oh my God, this is okay. I was like, I like this. This is what I want to do. And then I was just a garbage employee too. I worked so many jobs in high school and college, but I was just a crap employee.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to do other stuff. And so acting, as I went on through college, I started to think more and more about that, not necessarily through theater at LSU, but just acting was just starting to really, I was starting to gravitate towards that. So I spent one summer between part of the academic scholarship, I couldn't miss a semester.
Oh,
So
okay.
I actually took a leave off from the band for 2 months, and I moved to LA just to see if I would like it. And I loved it and moved back. Selfishly convinced the guys in the band to move to Los Angeles, which
Wow.
was probably the beginning of the death of the band, because
Oh,
we were a big fish in a small pond to a minnow in the ocean in Los Angeles. I mean, it was just, that's a whole other story though. But then what happened is I went out for my very first audition with my manager in New Orleans, and that was Glory Road, and I got it. And so we were 1 for 1, doing great. But they left without me because I was filming that in New Orleans. So they left without me. And then when I got to LA, I immediately booked a TV show called Beach Girls that sent me to Canada. And at that point, they were like, okay, well, are you in or are you out?
right.
And it's just the way things were going. I ended up replacing myself with a new player, and I think they went on another couple years, and then, like most bands do, broke up, and here I am talking to you.
Yeah. So what was the band's name?
It had a couple names. When I was in it, it was called Anomaly.
Oh, nice.
And then when I left and someone else left, they changed it to Battle Alaska.
Okay, not as great as the first one.
I
Maybe
agree.
you got out at a good time.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, a little bit. So you didn't have the typical like LA story. You know, I've interviewed a lot of actors and actresses, and it's kind of the same thing, right? They get to LA, someone asks them, I'm an actor, and immediately ask, what restaurant do you work at? I mean,
Yep.
we're bartending, or we're being a waiter or whatever. But it sounds
I
like
did not wait one table in LA. Now, I waited thousands in Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
But that's just because that was your job. But no, I did not have the typical LA story. That is very true.
Wow. Well, it's cool. I mean, it's very unique. I mean, how lucky to really hit the ground running as soon as you got there.
Very. I had and still have a great representation behind me. It's been all women except for one year period where I had a man as an agent, but I've always had a complete female team backing me. And me and my manager Stacy, we shook hands in 2004, and that was it. There not an ounce of paperwork between us. We shook hands. I was with the same female agent for a long time, but then we had a contractual disagreement. Otherwise, I'd still be with her. And then I'm still with my same agent that I've been with since 2012. So I've been very lucky to have a really good team backing me as well. So a lot of credit goes to them too.
Wow, that's great. I love that. So transitioning into your film, my favorite movie is Christmas at Graceland, mainly because my mother was or is a huge Elvis fan, and so was I. I grew up listening to a lot of Elvis Presley in our house, watching these movies and all of that. So tell me about that experience. I mean, did they just call you up and say, hey, you want to be in this movie and we're going to film some of it at Graceland? I mean,
I'll tell you exactly what happened. I was bringing my daughter to swim practice, and I got a call from a great friend of mine. We weren't that close back then as we are now, but her name is Samantha DePipo. She was an exec at Hallmark in New York. And she called me and she goes, "Hey, you sing, right?" And I go, "Well, yeah." I said, I'm not, I said, "Being on what level?" I said, "I'm not winning American Idol," but I was like, "Yes, yeah, sure." And she goes, "Okay, I'll call you back."
Oh.
And I said, "Okay." She calls back about 15 minutes later. She goes, "You play piano?" And I said, "Again, I'm not, a piano. I'm not Billy Joel." So I was like, "Yes, I can. I play the piano." She goes, "All right, I'll call you back." And so she called me back. And it's funny because I did say the words, "I'm not winning American Idol or anything." She called me back. She goes, "All right, we got a movie for you with Kelly Pickler." And I was like, "Samantha, I just said I'm not winning American Idol." I was like, "Didn't she place like third or something?" I'm like, I was like, "One's not like the other." And she had a good laugh at that. Then she said, "Yeah, it was their big budget Christmas film for that year." And that was it. She's like, "If you're interested, we're going to do this movie at Graceland." And she sent me the script and I was like, "I'm in, let's do it."
That is so awesome. And it did very well for Hallmark.
Yeah, it did.
And there was a sequel.
There was Wedding at Graceland.
Yeah.
So we went back and got married. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely got my fill of the Elvis experience. That was because we stayed at Graceland too for both movies, and that was a blast. I missed it. It was a great crew, fun cast. I got a lot of great friends from that movie still.
Yeah. Had you ever been to Graceland before? Like,
I drove past it years prior. Just we were doing a cross country trip.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking like we peeked over the fence.
Oh, okay.
Like, cool, thumbs up, and we kept going. That was it. So
yeah.
had not been in, no. Which looking back, I'm kind of glad I didn't, because if you're going to see it for the first time, that was the way to do it.
I'm sure. I had, you had said in another interview that I watched with you that you were the last one to play Elvis's piano before it went into a museum or something.
That's what I've been told. There's only been 7 people. I wish I could remember all of them. It was so random. It was like John Stamos, Kid Rock. Yeah, just some random people, and then me. And then after, I mean, I would play, and as soon as I was done playing, they had a lady with white gloves on that would literally come and wipe it down between each take, just, I guess, oils from your finger or whatever. I think it was it's a Story and Clark piano. I'm trying to think of the year. It was gorgeous piano, but yeah, after that was done, it got put in a museum, and it's not being taken out again. I think there's a man who tunes it just to keep it in good shape, choose it once a year, and then that's it.
Wow. That is so cool.
Yeah, I agree. That was pretty neat.
Man, I'd say, oh my gosh. Your wife sold a treatment to Hallmark to a movie then that you were in 2021.
Yeah, Sweet Pecan Summer. It was a story about her Aunt Carol, and it was a very sweet story. Now, I'll tell you the truth. A lot of the story was changed, obviously, but no, the initial treatment was about her and her family growing up on it was part pecan and part peanut farm down in South Alabama. So yeah, she wrote the story, and we got Zach and his wife Stephanie to write the scripts, and then that was it. It was super fun. We had a great time.
That is so cool. Now, is she a writer? Did she?
No, she's not, but she has the utmost potential to be one. She's always worked in some kind of creative form. Like I mentioned at the start of it, like she worked for NSYNC at the conception of NSYNC, and then she moved on to work for Disney, which she still does. She works in the music department of Disney. So she's always had her hands in some type of creative aspect of, right now it's music business. So, so a professional writer, she is not right now, but I wouldn't be surprised if she was one day.
Yeah.
That's what she wants to do.
Yeah.
So,
that's great. I love that.
Yeah.
That is so cool. Very cool.
And then she has several more treatments that aren't necessarily Hallmark, but she has several more treatments that I'm in talks with other producers to get some of this made. You know, it movies take a while to get made. I mean, I guess it can happen quickly, but for the most part, you know, it takes a minute.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
but we have several more things that she's created that I have no reason to believe they won't get made eventually. So we're still going.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love that. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
A question for you, and I it just came to me because I haven't seen it and I may have missed it. Have you signed a deal with Hallmark?
No. Well, yes and no.
Okay.
I know the deals you're referring to. A lot of these are like 1 and 2 picture deals.
Okay.
So I have one this year for a Christmas thing, but typically speaking, it's kind of a year by year thing.
Okay.
But as things change within the Crown Media company, the answer to that question moving forward is going to be a little above my pay grade. But yes, I have a deal with them for this year, as I normally do for year to year. So
okay.
And we'll see how it goes as they evolve as they are right now. So,
right.
Yeah.
Okay. I was just curious because yes, there is. I feel like every other day there's someone signing something to something. So it's interesting. So
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. I try to stay out of the business side of things because like that's what we have our representation for. But yeah, I think it's a big shock with all the actors with new networks competing with one another, and all of a sudden you're like, I'm an actor. Like this is not like I'm okay.
Yeah.
And it doesn't happen with a lot of other networks. So a lot of this is new to a lot of folks, without putting words in other people's mouths. So
right. Yeah. I think, the fans get so like, where, who's going here? And is someone staying here? And am I, so it's just interesting because I don't typically participate in the fan groups, but I'm in them just to kind of get a pulse on like kind of where everybody is.
I've had so much fun being with this network. I mean, I had my audition. I was actually doing True Blood at the time. I remember I had my first audition for. This is before Countdown to Christmas. This was in 2009. This was before like when they said it's for Hallmark. I was like, the card company.
Yeah.
I was like, it wasn't the beautiful beast that it is now. And so it was the Loves Come Softly movie. The two was the first time I ever saw 2-picture deal. And I was like, oh my gosh, that sounds so professional and cool. And then we went and we shot these 2 awesome little Western movies set in the 1800s. And then that was it. Yeah. That was it. They just kept calling after that. And it's definitely been a wonderful place to call home for a long time. So, and I don't plan on that changing. So
yeah. But you also do now. You're in, and I don't have it in front of me. But you're filming, or you just got finished filming something.
Yeah,
correct?
We did a movie that was. I don't know where it's going to land.
Okay.
But it was paid for by Paramount. It's called Stalked Within, and I play a very, very bad man in that.
Oh boy.
It is the departure from Hallmark land.
Yeah.
So, but it was, to say it was fun. It's kind of weird because I play a horrible person. So to say it was fun is strange, but it was fun. It was fun as an actor to get to do something so insanely different than what I've gotten to do. It's kind of like, and I appreciate that people give me that opportunity. I remember years ago, I got to work for Shonda Rhimes, where she had hired me as a heroin addict. She hired me as a gay Marine so it's like she saw things that other people didn't see, that I wasn't getting the opportunity to. So I'm very appreciative for producers and writers when they have something that's out of the normal box and I get a shot to do that. It's a lot of fun. So I'm going to be excited to promote this because I know we'll have, a Christmas movie to promote this year, but also we'll have this, and it's going to be Very different.
Yeah, very different. So how do you prepare for a role that's so different from what you typically play on a Hallmark movie?
You know, it's a collaborative effort. So our director Glenn and his wife, they wrote it. So, you know, just to hear what they had in mind with this character, I basically play a psychopath that works for a security company, and that's how he breaks into people's homes.
Oh,
So,
okay.
and I'm saying this now, but I don't even know if it's supposed to be a secret. We haven't got that out there, but I was like, I'm such a psycho throughout the entire movie. It's not going to be a huge secret.
Right.
So, but just to hear what he had in mind for the character, and then to really answer your question, it's fun to get on set and make those decisions in real time, because you can have it all planned out. But then once things start happening, you develop new ideas and new dialogue and new everything.
Yeah.
I mean, new everything. So that's the way I've always enjoyed playing characters like that, is to get in the moment on real time. You're with your actress or actors, and you're on set, and you're in the clothes, and that's when everything kind of changes.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I've got some scenes in there where I'm bloodied with a beard this big with long hair. And it's like, it's hard to prepare for that. But after all that's on you, it's a different mentality, and different ideas start coming. And it's, you know, that's kind of the process. And that's what makes it super fun.
I was just gonna say that must be what makes it so fun to get into that character. And I would assume, you know, you just start acting like that, how you look, how you feel, and the clothes that you're wearing, the makeup that you have on. I mean,
oh no, I mean, you definitely get into it. You know, I mean, there's for instance, there are some scenes in there where you know, you think you go into something, it's like, man, if I deliver all this like super soft, it's going to be creepy. And then you get into it, and after a few takes, you're like, you know what? It's like, let me try one and go full psychopath. And that's the one that ends up working. Or some stuff comes out of your mouth that you're like, well, that wasn't in the script, but it'll be in the movie. You know, so it's pretty wild. I remember one time we were on it was with Kerry Washington. Oh my God, the show's just, it was the pilot for it wasn't called the reason I'm looking at it because it was called something else before it was Scandal. We're doing the pilot from Scandal, but it wasn't called Scandal when we were shooting it. But I remember I was telling Kerry Washington something, and it was our last take, and the director said out loud, he goes, hey, deliver this next line super, super soft, like just basically whisper it to her. And then he pulled me aside and he goes, I want you to scare the out of her. He goes, make her come out of her heels. But the crew and her heard, deliver it soft. And he basically said, get in her face and scream at her. That's what they ended up using, because her reaction was real.
right.
I'm surprised she didn't smack me, because
Right.
I was like, but it's stuff like that you just never know what you're gonna get. That's so that scene looks so good because of the director. So that's why the first thing I said was it's a complete team effort, you know. So to get their, and you know, also don't want to disrespect their vision. They've hired you as the actor. You don't want to be a puppet, but you also want to be collaborative and say, well, this is my idea. What do you have in mind? What do you have in mind? And you team up.
Right.
And hopefully that's what makes good art.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So I know that Hallmark movies shoot in like 15 days. They're a very fast production, most of them. And so I would assume that the features that you've been in are not. So do you have a preference? Like, do you kind of like the machine of Hallmark where they just, I mean, everybody knows their part and you do it and it's done and you get to go home? Or do you like being immersed for a longer period of time?
I don't know. You never want to feel rushed. I have friends that have never done a Hallmark movie, and when you tell them you're doing a 115-page feature in 15 days, some people that are in this business, but not in the Hallmark world, they don't even see how it's possible.
Yeah.
I mean, big features, you're shooting like half page, 1 page a day. For Hallmark, we'll shoot 7, 10, 12 pages a day. I mean, some people think that is extremely ambitious. Now, with that being said, sometimes it just runs like a well-oiled machine. You know, you get professional crews that are in there, actors who are prepared, and if everyone comes prepared, you can get through your days easily. You know, with a great director, good producers, which Hallmark normally always has.
Right.
But you learn to like it because you don't really have a choice. But
right.
No, if we could ever have 20 days to 25 days, obviously that would be. I mean, no one would complain, but that would be a drastic cost difference.
Right.
So yeah, that's my anything below 15 days. I did one in 12, and that's just that's really ambitious.
Yeah, that's rough.
So yeah, to answer your question, I'm not sure if anyone likes it, but I feel like if everyone's prepared, shows up, ready to work, it's all good.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about fatherhood. So you have a 12-year-old daughter, you're a girl dad.
Yep.
And you have posted a few things on Instagram, and I know recently she went to a school dance.
She did.
That is super exciting.
Right.
I vividly remember my school dances, and that is so cool. So what was that like? I mean, 12 is like such a, I don't know. I have a 12-year-old daughter myself.
Oh, do you? Okay.
I do. She is autistic. She's on the spectrum, and while she's 12, she's not 12, if that makes sense. She's nonverbal and doesn't do the typical things that a 12-year-old does. But I know that age is just, they're like your baby, but they're kind of, they're turning into a teenager, and it's so amazing to see.
Yeah, it is. I will say this, and I'm trying not to sound stereotypical, but she's just a great kid, and she is a very young 12, if you know what I mean. Like, just yesterday, I say accidentally. Are you supposed to take the Delta blankets that they give you? I don't know if you are or you're not. I took one though, and I don't even know why. Maybe I'm a thief. I don't know. But like yesterday, she had it on as a cape, and and sadly, father failure right now. She doesn't have a bike, and so she wants a bike. She grew out of her last one, and we moved. That's the reason she doesn't have a bike right now. But it's like she's still, her and her friends are still very much kids, and that's not coming from us. We're not sheltering them from the world or anything. It's just they're still very much kids. They're not trying to go do weird bad things. It's like, the little town that we're in right now, like they walk and they go shopping and stuff, and they get their ice cream and stuff and come back and ride bikes. So it's like they're still very much just being children, and I think it's awesome. I'm not rushing that stage at all, but I'm also not hiding them from anything. It's like, you got a question about something, ask your mom,
Right.
Ask mom.
So did she enjoy the school dance? What was the feedback? She had a good time?
They had a blast. It wasn't very long. It was only like an hour and a half, which was kind of weird. And it wasn't, I don't know if this was on purpose or not, but like, it wasn't you didn't ask anyone to it. They went as, yeah, no. And I was like, is that normal? I don't know. But no, they had a blast. It was fun. She came back with the light up glow goggles and stuff. So, and we showed up at the last, it looked like they were having a blast too.
Oh, that's so cool.
I made my my no boys were harmed in this video, but like I know all of her little guy friends, and I love them all. Like they're all, I don't know, we're lucky right now. She's got a good little group of friends, and I don't know, I really like where they're at right now.
Yeah,
so hopefully it stays that way. We'll see.
Right. Well, where are you located?
We're in Connecticut.
Okay.
We've lived here 3 times before because I was doing television in New York City. So we're about 40 miles from Manhattan. So it's
Oh,
kind of
okay.
like the best of both worlds. We kind of live out in the country a little bit, but we're
Yeah.
40 miles from, the middle of New York City.
Yeah. I didn't realize you were on the East Coast.
We've
Um,
gone, we have moved so much in the
yeah.
last 10 years. It's ridiculous. She's so excited to go to the same school again.
Oh, yeah. That's,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? But
Yeah.
I will say though, that is the cool thing. I know there's a lot of negativity surrounding social media, but the one great thing is that as we have bounced around the country, we have, and she has kept in touch with, all of her friends from, all over the coast, whether it be South Florida, Los Angeles, New York. Yeah. So we've gotten to keep in touch with everyone, and so is she. So every time we go different places, we've always got friends to visit. So that's been a plus in the social media world.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah. Staying connected. I moved to South Florida in 2003. I moved right after I graduated college, and I come from a very, very small town in central Pennsylvania, basically where the Amish live. So I keep in touch with social media. That's how I know how everyone is, what everyone's doing. Besides calling every single one of them, I can just kind of see what's going on in their news feed. So
because there's definitely people I don't text with a lot, but I see what they're doing every day. So it is kind of nice. It's like, hey, I hadn't seen you in a while, but I know what you're up to.
Yeah, I see it.
So it's kind of neat that way.
Yeah.
I like that.
When I was talking to, actually, while I interviewed Andrew Walker last week, I believe it was, and he had some very nice things to say about Ryan Pavey. And so I had sent the little clip to Ryan, and it was so cute because he was like, I love that guy so much, man. And I just wish that me, him, and Wes could just grab a beer whenever we wanted to. So you all three, you have to make sure that you get that time when you're here at RomaDrama to get together for sure. Because, when I talk to Ryan, that's something he often talks about, is how all the guys don't ever get together unless it's because you just had that Hallmark cocktail hour kind of thing. And
yeah, we did. We got to hang out last Wednesday. So that was nice.
Yeah. So I know.
But I will say, it's one of the things that if fans hear this, I do hope they appreciate it. Hallmark being a family network, we are all friends in real life. I was texting with Andrew last night about hockey, so it's like we have never done a movie together. There's a chance we never will do a movie together. I hope that changes. Maybe we will, but no, it's like being a part of the Hallmark family. We are all real friends, and we're all rooting for each other. And so it's really cool. It's like, and then we give each other, crap about certain things. Like, Ryan did a movie in Hawaii, and I'm completely 100% jealous, and I'm not trying to hide it.
Right.
I'm not trying to hide it. Every time he posts something, I was like, you're making me angry.
Yeah.
I am completely jealous of where you're at right now. Stop, come home. Yeah. Enough. You're being ridiculous. I'm not trying to hide this.
Yeah. He could not have been more excited to share his surfing experience with me yesterday. He got to use his own surfboard. He got to surf on the west coast of Oahu, which you just typically cannot do as someone who's not native there. And
the level of annoyance I have with him right now is staggering.
Yeah.
Staggering.
Yeah. Well, you can give him some more crap when you see him. So let's talk about RomaDrama. I have never, ever been to a fan event. I didn't even know that these fandoms existed with Tyler Hines and the Pavey Pack and kind of all of these. I did not know that they existed. Started doing my research. It was intense. So tell me what you're most excited, because you did RomaDrama in Nashville, correct? Yes. Mm-hmm. So share with me, because I have seen images from Christmas Con, which I know you've also done.
Yeah.
You know, what do you like about RomaDrama? Is it, I know it's different than some of the other things.
What I'm always most excited about is I just find it so surreal and amazing that we do these things that, you know, we're on set filming, not, and maybe it's best that we don't know because you don't want to get in your head about it. But like, for instance, like Christmas at Graceland, like the fact that we're shooting stuff and we're talking through scenes, and then that was 15 days of our life. But then what we created lasts so much longer past that. And then new people get to see it. And then it means something to them and it becomes a part of their tradition. It's like, I'm almost glad we don't know that while we're doing it. And the reason for me saying all this is because, you know, we all get to make a living doing this stuff. And then to meet the people that create you know, that are the reason behind, you know, the successes that we have is just really surreal. So you get to say thank you and you get to hear their backstory or what. That was one of the neatest things about the Christmas Con and RomaDrama was like maybe hearing what their favorite movie was and why. And sometimes there was a super sweet, super sad, something that connected with them emotionally. It meant to them. And then they watch it every this year and it makes them have this memory or that memory. And so you're just hearing all these stories and you're like, this 15 days did all of this to all of you. And then you paid money to be here. And so it's just, it's much bigger than, I'm not trying to be over dramatic about it, but it is much bigger than just a fan event because you get to hear all these personal stories that we never would have heard otherwise. And so that's the biggest picture of why I'm really looking forward to it. And then you have all the other smaller places like, you know, it's cool that we get to meet all these people in a beautiful place like West Palm. And then we do get to see everyone else. And then it's just a big, giant ball of fun. And that's it. But the icing on the cake is really to hear all of these stories about, you know, why they're there and why they chose to travel from wherever they're from and see you and see everyone else that they care about and their purpose for being there. It's really a special thing. These events are held in fun places, you know, like Franklin right outside of Nashville, now West Palm. It's like I'm curious to see where hopefully we get to go to next.
Yeah. It's
and if it's Kansas, bring it on.
Right.
It's definitely, as I said, that's one of the smaller things, but it's definitely more about seeing these fans, hearing their stories about what it means to them. It's just really special. It's too bad we don't get to spend even more time during the day hearing everything they have to say, but it's very nice.
There is a group, a Facebook group for everyone who's coming to RomaDrama, and it's just really cool to, I mean, we're literally counting down the days. People have countdown clocks. I mean, we're all very excited, really too, because we had been so isolated with COVID and having it postponed because of COVID. I think we're just ready to connect with people and see people face to face and interact that way. It's been a long time, so it'll be nice.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think it's, I know a guy who's a pilot and, you know, he said one of the reasons for so many of the cancellations is that, you know, I don't want to put words into his mouth, but he said basically there's a lot of the CEOs for these companies thought that people weren't going to be traveling as much. And that was part of some of the layoff stuff. He goes, now it's the exact opposite. Everyone's ready to get out and go do things. I'm one of them.
Yeah.
I am one of them. I like, you know, now that, God, being up here, now that Broadway is open, like I want to go see all the shows. I want to do all the things because, you know, well, not to go down this rabbit hole, but you see what happens in an instant that, you know, when things get shut down, you can't do stuff. So it's like, man, it's too short to not go and just try to do everything you can.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Definitely looking forward to getting down there.
Yeah, it's going to be so much fun. So much fun. So with that being said, I just have a random question for you. Have you ever been starstruck? Like, have you ever been in the company of someone and you're just like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I can finally meet this person and talk to them? Has that happened?
Yeah. I have, but it's probably not who you would think.
That's okay.
So the first person that comes to mind, I'll preface by saying this was a while ago. I don't know the story behind it. He got into some trouble with some allegations and stuff. And that sounds super dark. I really don't know what it. I didn't do a deep dive into it, but I was filming NCIS New Orleans, and I had a night off, and I was going out to dinner. I was literally by myself, and I'm not from New Orleans, but I was familiar with the area. I was walking past restaurant August, and I saw a guy in a white chef's coat, and I recognized the back of his hair, and it was John Besh, who is a New Orleans restaurateur, and that I got starstruck. I was like, it's a chef. It's not an actor. It's a chef. But I was like, whoa. And I stopped in my tracks, and I was like, chef, he was taking the garbage out.
Oh, nice.
It was like a Tuesday. I was like, wow, you take the garbage out? What? I was like, I didn't even think you were real. But no, I recognized, because he's got long, blondish hair. And so I introduced myself. He knew a lot of the cast from NCIS New Orleans. And so the conversation ended, and I asked him, I think I asked him, like, it's like Tuesday night. I'm like, you're cooking on? And he's like, yeah. He goes, I actually avoid the weekends, and I'll come in, and I'll on like a Tuesday when it's slower, and just make sure the operation's running good. I said, all right, great. Well, so we wrapped up our conversation. I kept walking. I was like, wait a minute. He's cooking. Why am I walking past? I know he's cooking. So I walked back into the bar and ordered myself a staggeringly expensive meal, but it was worth every penny. So I was like, I probably have a better example if I thought long enough. But I was like, that was one of the stranger ones where I was a little starstruck. And it was, again, a chef, not a.
No, but I love that. Yeah, it doesn't have to be an actor and actress. So I love that. Very cool. And then another random question, and we'll wrap up. What are you watching right now? So many people are binge watching stuff because we have all these streaming platforms. What are you watching?
There's so much content out
I know it's a little too much content. Like I literally could sit on the couch for weeks and still not be caught up to everything my friends want me to watch and my family wants me to watch and that I want to watch.
I mean,
what are we streaming?
It's gotten to the point where you don't even know which platform to go to.
We do get confused sometimes. I'm like, no, to my husband, I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure that's on Apple TV. I don't think that's on.
Tell you what, I did watch. I watched it in my gym yesterday. I watched the OG Top Gun '86.
Okay.
Just to get it. But what am I just finished. I don't even know what it's on. What is it on? It's on Paramount, I think. The Offer.
Oh, okay.
Have you seen that?
No.
The Offer is with, speaking of Top Gun, Miles Teller.
Okay.
It is a story about how they made The Godfather.
Oh, nice.
So
okay.
Miles Teller plays the producer who produced The Godfather. It's not a documentary, and it's got Giovanni Ribisi, Miles Teller. It's got a brilliant cast, and it is a great series. And I finished it. It's only 7 episodes, I think. I don't know if they're still filming. I'm assuming season 2 is coming, but
Very
I did
cool.
that one. And I am a new Star Wars fan. I have not been. I think I saw the original Star Wars for the first time only like 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna start the Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh yes, I haven't watched it. My husband, huge Star Wars person.
Okay, serious question. Do I need to watch something before Obi-Wan? Because I'm literally gonna Google that to make sure.
I don't think so. I
Okay.
don't think so. I think those series are all kind of standalone because there's a couple of them. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that. But I do think I'm remembering what my husband would tell me because him and his dad watch it, and he would say, you know, something like, "Oh, did you catch so and so? That was a reference to blah blah blah." But I think with the storyline, I think they're all pretty. Pretty
that, and I'm going to start Stranger Things over again. I was watching it, we moved, and I stopped, and then I heard the season 4 is incredible, so I'm gonna just go rewatch everything again.
I have not watched that. That is one that I haven't watched. I do want to, and I also want to watch Ozark because that was one that I completely missed.
Yeah, that's it. I have not seen the last season, but yeah. But there's so much out there.
There is so much content.
It's kind of why it's funny because I have a buddy of mine who lives out here, and he said it's one of the reasons he likes living out here more than LA is he goes, we get overcast Netflix days. He goes, in Los Angeles, it felt lazy and stressful to be watching TV.
Yeah,
it's
feel guilty.
75, right. And you feel like a lazy sack of garbage.
Yeah. It's so true. It's so true.
It starts raining, you're like, Netflix day.
Yes. Yeah, that's kind of like what our whole weekend is going to be. And that's funny because I thought no sunny days here in Florida. We're going to have downpours for 3 days.
You have totally a Netflix weekend.
Find something.
Or a Hulu weekend or a Disney Plus weekend or you name it.
That's right. I will tell you, The Flight Attendant is really good with Kaylee Cuoco. It's 2 seasons and it's shot so well. The story is just it's incredible. Like it's really, really good. So I would suggest that one. My
manager was just raving about The Staircase.
Oh yes.
I haven't seen it, but she loves it.
Yeah. So that's a true story. I saw the real documentary on Netflix, and it is a crazy story. And I just heard a clip from the husband that's in it, and I think somebody asked him, "Are you gonna watch The Stair?" He goes, "No, I lived it. Why would I want to watch somebody?" But it's such like a weird. Oh, that was a good series on Netflix. But I haven't watched the show, like the remake of it. So
there's a lot out there. So yeah,
definitely a lot. Well, thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Thank you for
sitting down with me. I really appreciate it. And I'll look forward to seeing you in a few weeks in West Palm. It's going to be fun. Super fun. Praying for nice weather. I'm sure it'll be good. But yeah, so, all right.
All right. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Have a really great weekend.
You too. We are doing drive-in The Goonies tonight.
Oh, so good. That is so good. Like, so drive-in meaning there is a drive-in close to you. I miss going. So my uncle owned a drive-in in my local town. And that is where I watched every iconic movie from Gremlins to one of the first Jurassic Parks to all. I spent every summer at the drive-in, and it's just there's no better way to like watch a film, especially Goonies like that.
Goonies drive-in, man.
Oh, so good. That is so good. We'll have a blast. That's going to be great. Movie. That'll be a lot of fun.
I appreciate you having me. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Wes. Take care.
All right, you too. See you soon.
All right. Okay. Bye.